Welcome to the DQ&Q Lifestyle Podcast with me, Marcus, and we're gonna go in on the RTM thing. You know how we move. Anyway, let's get this popping. And this one's got action from Beaumont Boys in 20 years of gang beef between him and Spray squashed. Let go. Oh my days, don't tell me this is doing this again.
And then when people realise, raw,
and what we're
everyone's
talking
still
about
out here. I didn't get, Spray's real though.
So what we're going to talk about on this one is about what I've mentioned before. I liked this one because there's a couple of things in it still. How Badman grass now. Alleged Badman. These new, it's all mad. It's not even the new ones, it's all mental. Anyway.
Or Spray, no one cares.
No one cares. That's why
No one cares. And you see even the people that grass and all that, no one cares either. So there's people that grass and they're cool. So no one cares.
You understand?
At the end of the day.
That's why I went to work, because I saw a man.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Bad man.
Yeah, do you get what I'm saying?
Boy. Bad man turn grass. Bad man turn this.
No one cares.
I've seen it all, done it all. The game's not fair. I'm out. I'm going to be a builder.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, but you get what I'm saying?
Righteous you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, I'm out anyway, but like I would have struggled if I didn't do the therapy. I'd have struggled to have got out if I hadn't done the therapy. The therapy allowed me to be able to see that there is other avenues, see where I went wrong. So it empowered me to be able to see where I went wrong and be able to make changes going forward, to not have that same lifestyle where I speak to certain man now and I can tell that they can't see a way out. They're talking about things where they think that they're handling the situation or that they're doing like a that they're making like a move forward, but it's not. What they're doing is like nuzzling down further into that lifestyle. So it's not an option. It's just, it's the same thing. Do you know what I mean? You're still doing the same thing in the same thing. Like the situation's different and you're going to handle that situation slightly different to last time, but it's still the same thing. And trying to like give people options of like, oh, well, what do you think about this? Like, no, man's like, I thought, wow, like I forgot how powerful that mindset, not just that mindset, any mindset is, do you know what I mean? And how it's just so easy to like, you know, understand when someone does get it and understand how they unfold. Like literally as you're speaking to them, it's like you can see the lights like come on and the cogs turning and how things just unfold with like their questioning, like, oh, well, yeah, you know what, you're right, like their understanding of it. Like how do you understand what you're saying? And how, like asking questions in terms of like how to do the thing to get to the alternative. So it's very mad. It's very mad. But yeah, like I say, I'm out. I'd have struggled. I'd have been back in jail already by now. I've been out now, like what? September, October, November, December. 27 months. Been out 27 months now. I think this is how long I was on the actual therapy wing for. About 27 months, I think. Maybe 29 actually. I think it was 2 years, 7 months. So what's that? 31 months I might have been on there. October, November, December, January, February, March. 2 years, 5 months, 29 months. So in February, I'd have been out on road as long as I was in therapy for. But yeah, hold me in good stead. No, I've got another pod to do about that actually. Let me write that down. Make sure I forget. But yeah, I just struggled to get out, even though I know, because it happened when I went in. It was 2015, like. But I could kind of see it beforehand as well in 2011 when I went in. Like, both times, people I'm in conflict with have told on me, you know, the ones there. But it's like, why are you starting conflict? Like, if you're telling on people, you know, the ones there. Like, but on the flip side, especially the last time I went in, the first time was probably integral to the second time having a more of an impact for me to be able to go in. Obviously, it did in terms of sentence, because I got obviously triple the sentence. But, I served triple the time. But it was integral in terms of, the second one was integral to me becoming who I am now. I couldn't have done it without that jail. Do you know what I mean? Anyway. Yo, the space bar, man. Welcome to the space bar, man. Hey!
You get what I'm saying?
There we go.
Be a builder.
No,
Go
but you
learn
get what
a
I'm saying,
trade.
like-
Forget it. Because your friend will grass you up in the old baby.
In a second.
Your friend will bun weed with the man that killed your brother.
Your friend will fuck your girl when you go jail.
Fuck your girl when you've gone jail for 25 years for repping the block.
Do you know what I mean?
Please go to school and learn an education and forget about the roads.
And that is so true. That is so true. Like I was literally just talking to someone about this the other day about how like it was at work actually, and someone was asking me about like the man's perspective. It was a woman obviously. And I was just saying like, yeah, like it just like these things happen, like man going after your girl and or man going after girl. It's just a shady world. Like no one can be trusted. So even again when I'm chatting to certain man and they're talking about certain things, I'm thinking, you're just tired of that lifestyle, of the people that are in that lifestyle, because like they're saying like this and that and blah blah blah, and I'm thinking, but I don't experience that. I know what you're saying because I've been there, but I haven't been there for 8 years. I ain't been around these people constantly, where that's like my people that I listen to, like, you know, I'm hearing what they're saying, I'm saying what they're saying, and you know, so it hasn't been impacting me, because we are every interaction we ever have, whether positive or negative. Do you know what I mean? We're initially our parents. The school has an impact. If we've got any religious thoughts or any existential thoughts like that, and spiritual thoughts, that has an impact. You know what I mean? Every book you read, every film you see, every music you listen to. Come on. Just imagine, like, just think about like when Scrubs came out. No, Scrubs. A scrub is a guy that the girl's mindset changed, lad. I think I mentioned this before on the pod, like, where I remember, like, obviously I was only like younger. Hopefully I was young. I'm gonna see when that came out actually, because I remember kind of like, I think a car must have drove past. I'm playing. I'm like, yo, that's a tune. That I was saying that's a tune. Do you know why? Because I'm in the house with my mother. My mother wasn't really saying it. She just kind of like, you know, just like, I don't know. She wasn't feeling it like that. Do you know what I mean? But it was my brother's BM that was in the yard, and she is feeling the tune because she's of that age. It's speaking to her, because really and truly, music's mainly for young kids. Do you know what I mean? Right, what we're looking at here. When did No Scrubs come out? 99. Oh, I was 12. I was nearly 12. It doesn't say the month. I'm going to say I'm 11. Bombacla. But yeah, I remember saying, yo, tune some yard. I said, what? What do you mean? It's a girl? And he's basically saying, the girl changed. He's saying it's harder to link girl now because the girl are taking this tune on board. You know, the ones there like, oh no, it's good, you can't, you know what I mean? Like, so I can see it now, you know what I mean? How music impacts and how music impacted me, how media impacted me. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, anyway, like, it does happen. People do be getting onto people do be getting onto people, and like back to my brethren now, like just listening to all that stuff, I'm thinking, yeah, he's just in that thing there. Like there's no escape for him. He'll go to a worker guy, like a guy that works, and he's still hearing that like these men are on get backs and revenge and and might do a little side thing, you know what I mean? Get a little bit back, you know what I mean? Some like bit of haram or whatever, yeah. And so he's like leaving gangish people to go and chat to a guy that works, but the man's still in the business. But you do separate. The guy might be a taxi driver, fucking working at office. You know, he might be a builder or something. Like, I don't know. It could be doing anything. Security. You know what I mean? But he's still involved. His family, you know, his people, where he congregates, who he talks to, who's in his context list, most of them. Like, how they got proper regular people that are far removed. Like, I've got a completely different view in them phone books that he's going to, but you do separate the worker from the man that traps all the time, or the man that's banging all the time, you know, the ones there. But it's still the same, in the same vein, still the same breath. So where like he thinks he's getting respite from going away from them type of man to them type of man. Like, no, because they still got kind of a similar thing here. My man, that is the odd person still. Don't get me wrong, I can think of at least one right now. Well, only one if I'm honest. Where my man's cool and got integrity and I don't think he would try bang a girl. He won't try to set you up, rob you, this and that, He might even hold a few boxes of some serious, like, scary man. Like, I don't think that many of that on the road these days, to be honest. But anyway, like, Yeah, it might hold a few. Them days they would have held a few boxes and that. I think. And he's just a regular guy, just an office worker. Do you know what I mean? But he's got integrity. Do you know what I mean? And that was to be like, kind of like, you know what I mean? Because you have to be low down and shiesty. Do you know what I mean? In that lifestyle, like, you're just not going to really survive too tough. Do you know what I mean? You have to at least have that mindset to know if it's going to happen to you. You know, the ones there. Or you probably got it from it happening to you. Do you know what I mean? You might have to do it a little piece because it's a bit of like a chess thing or a jigsaw. That thing needs to go into that bit, slot into that. You need to do that move there for that man to be able to like get that man to release some food for you. You know, the ones there because you done a little thing for him. You know, the ones. So yeah, it's just all mental. And yeah, so anyway, so like, cause for he ain't got no way out, and it's just no. It's just so insular. Because I thought, I'm not in it. I know all these people you're talking about. You're telling me this, that, and the other. And I know all these people. And I just thought, but that's not it. Like, that's not the maximum. That's the maximum in that. Do you know what I mean? That's not. It's mad. I'm going on. You know me anyway.
That's coming
I'm back.
for me. Don't listen to me. Feel the pain. Who can't hear must feel it.
I see it there.
Yeah, straight.
Straight.
Yeah.
Because it don't make sense. There's not many people going to be like me and Leon, where 20 years of war, one's going to be dead, one's going to be do 30 years. It's long.
Thingy posted him. Made you think posted him. Remember the picture? He made you think. He made you think. Innit?
Oh, you mean?
What happened?
Garden rude boy.
I can't remember, but I think it was Carnival Day. innit?
Oh,
so
okay.
then also, man, I shower.
But I'm saying, even with
Rasp,
Raspit, he's been out with Raspit, Black Lives Matter and all that. See this fucking guy. I'm thinking, what are you doing, Dad? What are you fucking doing?
That's a man.
Thinking, what are you doing?
Yeah, step up.
Yeah, see,
Man, draw
no, I'm
thing.
thinking, what? No, I'm not talking about the Wolf Forest thing. I'm talking about this guy. You know what I'm talking
Step
about.
out,
He's
rude
been
boy.
there for the Black Lives Matter. I'm seeing him there. He's got the picture.
Yeah, do all that
He's
righteousness
outside. You get what I'm
for
saying? I'm
people.
thinking, Dan, what are you
What
want?
do you mean?
You know what I mean?
Righteousness.
I can't believe he's
Good
there.
over evil.
I can't
Straight.
believe he's
Sunday
there.
school me I grew up, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Sunday school I got. Really, we grew up properly. Don't worry the madness we grew up with, but
Yeah.
right teaching, Sunday school, we know.
You know, these adverts are going to be the death for me still.
Yeah. Remember, God uses his hardest soldiers for his strongest fights,
Yeah.
and we must be one of them.
Those who come from the darkest darkness will shine the brightest light.
Yeah,
See it
straight.
there.
You know what I mean? There you go. Say no more. So you must be using us for a good reason, Carl.
Yeah.
Assaulting me and you sit here today.
This is a good thing, isn't it?
Because I feel like it will make people analyse, like, what are we really beefing over? You know, like obviously there's certain things that you obviously can't, you know, tell
But
you.
when
But
we
you know
talk
what
about
I
how
mean?
it
But,
started, it's
do you
like,
get me? But you know, like, yeah,
Stupidness. Everything always is over stupidness.
yeah.
it just that's how it goes.
99% of the time, you're
And
gonna
an ego
know your
thing
killer.
as well.
You're gonna know your killer.
Yeah.
How about that? Every murder, they know their killer. So it's not your enemy. It's gonna be your mate next to you. Yeah.
But what we're gonna do now is find out what you're doing now. Obviously,
Yeah.
man. Okay, but
Yo, so I'm just going to fucking stop that right there. Still. Bear with me. Bear with me, bear with me. Oh, we're just going to keep it in pod. Yo, what's this? What's this one here? But yeah, so as my man's saying, well, not even as my man's saying. So what I'm gonna say is, something's woke them man up there. I think one of the things with Spray is when he got stabbed up at the GRM Awards or GRM Daily Awards or whatever, yeah. And then he said he went through his mental health and this and that, and he's going mad ranting on fucking Twitter and that from his fucking after coming out of intensive care in his hospital bed, and he's making tune after tune of and then he's he's lost that, like he's lost, like he could, I guess in his mind he could see people's true colours because kind of lines were drawn because of who it was done by, and even the way it was done. Like, it's supposed to be like gigs and that. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be gigs and that, allegedly. And it was all to do with Drake, because I think Drake was there and they're showing off in front of Drake. That's his version. That's his version. Do you know what I mean? It's not the official version. Do you know what I mean? It's two sides to every story, and obviously them man aren't saying a word. But that's just get you up to speed. So I think from there, and then like losing out on certain people, not being able to trust certain people, because it was such a big person in the game that it's allegedly associated with, he has, he didn't know who he can trust. So I don't think he expected it when he speaks about it himself on his own podcast, on this on RTM podcast, on his RTM Records channel. So its lines are drawn, and I've been in a similar situation myself. And so I think like probably his friendship group dwindling down, or not even dwindling down. The people them are still there, but he's not reaching out to them and he's looking at them in a different light. So sometimes it takes certain situations to look at things in a different light. Once again, I've been in a situation like that myself. And he, I think he started reaching out of town more. He's had bare out of town links because he's done like jail and that, like up and down the country. So he's met bare out of towners and that. And then he's like, I don't know. And he's linked up with Cream somehow, and Cream said do the podcast. And then obviously this is more of a cause for, I think this is probably the most successful he's been in terms of like commercial. Possibly, I don't know. But I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is something that's opened his mind. I think he's spoken about thinking skills before. So I think he's done thinking skills courses in prison, I'm assuming, or maybe probation. Where would you do it anywhere else? I don't know where you do it anywhere else. So I think that's benefiting him to a degree. Obviously, it's very light. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't work for me. Like, I did Resolve. It's like thinking skills, Resolve, and then there's another one, STP or something. But I don't want to get that confused with the sex one. That might be SOTP. STP. Anyway, there's 3 anyway. And I think things like 6 weeks or 2 weeks, 2 weeks or 6 weeks or something, the thinking skills one, and then Resolve's about 10 weeks or 12 weeks, and then STP or whatever is the higher one is like a 6-month thing. Oh, it's SCP, self-change program. And them man seemed to be in a bit more of a different level. It was mad, like seeing them, there was a bit like just different level. But I can see now, obviously doing the therapy myself, like how fucking hell, I forgot about them. Because I did Resolve in Loudham Grange, and I seen his SCP man in Loudham Grange, and they would have seemed to be like a different level. Like, I'm still me. I did Resolve. I didn't know what they were talking about, helicopter programming or whatever, and technique and looking down. And I'm thinking, if I walked into a bar, I ain't like transporting my mind to look down on the situation. If a man's getting, then it's going off. That's it. Do you know what I mean? I can only assume it's gonna go off. So someone's got to set it. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, and them times there I couldn't chat. Didn't like chatting. The adrenaline's too much. So I'd rather it be an altercation than it not, if that makes sense. But anyway, as for action now, he's doing a university course. I think he's doing some kind of management in construction. That's why it says there, or I'll just be a brickie or whatever he says, because it's out of the road thing. But some things are happening along the lines. I can't really think of it. I've watched this weeks ago. And so what I'm trying to say is it's mad for people to get out of that lifestyle themselves, I think. So I don't think a lot of people do. I think action would probably be, I think they're both still on job, because obviously once you got them skills and them techniques and them memories of how to do things and how to handle certain things, if it gets a certain way, you'll deal with it. Yeah. I think action will do it less than spray, because I think action's more confident in himself and wouldn't like feel too writ off walking away from a situation. I think spray could probably walk away from situations. No, I don't know the man. You know what I mean? I don't know the man at all. I think he could walk away from situations more now because of where he's going with this, because he's making probably more money consistently with this, doing what he's doing, than anything else. But I think it'd kill him a little bit, like walking away, if he could walk away, or if he did, it'd kill him. Like, it'd burn him. Do you know what I mean? And it does burn. When you walk away, when you're thinking to yourself, I could just like deal with this pretty easily. Like, not even, it's like picking up a loaf of bread or like getting some milk. Like, it's not, to deal with this situation, it's not hard. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to take anything out of my day. I'm still going to be on time, even though I'm kind of late. I'm gonna be still the same lateness, but you're walking away, and it's a bit like because you're probably thinking this person's gonna think that they've like won whatever this was. Do you know what I mean? But now the funny thing is, I was thinking about this the other day, like how I've kind of dipped down. Because when I was in jail, like when I got to like a certain level with the therapy, do you know de-escalating? Do you know how much joy and glee I got from de-escalating situations? It was unreal. It was almost like I'd fought and won. But I wasn't de-escalating in a way that I'm properly just de-escalating. I'm calm, open palm. Got no bass in my voice. I'm calming them down. Like I'm not doing all this. Do you know what I mean? This is a bit agitated because they'll be like looking at me like thinking, what you doing? You know what I mean? I'd hear them out. They'd speak. I'd probably let them speak more than me. Do you know what I mean? I'd ask them what they want. Do you know what I mean? And they'd be like, oh, well, da. Then I come with a solution. Do you know what I mean? Well, I can do this. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd be in the submissive, I don't want to say position, that sounds mental. But I would be in a submissive because there's always got to be like a dominant one and a submissive one. And that's why when it's two dominants, it pops, the one's there. And if it's two submissives, then there's nothing. Do you know what I mean? But there's still like a submissive one. So like I'll drop below in the submissive position. Like, and this is all sounding mental. In prison as well. It wasn't in the shower. But anyway. And like, I just used to just feel like, wow, like, look at me. Look at me. But I don't feel like that now. Well, to be honest, I don't de-escalate. And I'll say one thing as well, it's because of the music I listen to. It's because I'm ruminating again. Do you know what I mean? So I'm having arguments with myself of someone else. Like from a situation that's not even there or happened. So it's like I've had the argument. Do you know what I mean? But it was something that I used to half do before. But it was to strengthen, not my arguments. I do it for like debate purposes. But it's gone from using that skill of doing it in debate purposes to strengthen my argument. Because if I'm having an argument, like thinking through an argument, when I say argument, I don't mean like that's just not what an argument is. An argument is like two people could sit talking this level that I'm talking. No, but it's an argument because it's like two different points. Do you know what I mean? And you're just arguing your point, which is just like basically like trying to land with your points. So which is a debate. So basically, I'll just use debate just to separate out like whatever. You don't think of a debate as So anyway, so I would have these debates, and I've used that skill of like having to tighten up my arguments. Oh fucking hell! I would have these debates in my mind with somebody about like a subject, and to tighten up like my points, I'd obviously find flaws. Because I'd be saying what they could say back. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd be thinking, right, okay, they could say this back, and then I'd research it to just, and it was just something I used to do. Do you know what I mean? And it's funny because when I got out, I fucking heard of this Jordan Peterson. I didn't even know who the fuck he was. And I'm watching some of his stuff, and he mentions mentioning like that he does that, and I thought, fucking hell, I can say it out loud that I do that because I'm not a madman. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yes, I've used that skill to then just having like arguments in my mind, like literally an argument in my mind. Not an argument, it's still a debate on my side, but because I'm dealing with mad people, like and I'm just like having, and so I'm getting like negative feelings of like these people annoying me if I'm not getting my point. When this argument ain't even happened, it's fictitious arguments, you know what I mean? So it's like, what am I doing? That's just rumination, because I didn't realize I was ruminating. I didn't really want to admit it to myself, because then I felt like I was doing something wrong, like I'm not where I should be. Because I should be like ruminating because I'm do you know what I mean? Which is not something that I know I'm thinking, but in the back of my mind I'm thinking that. It's only going to come to my forefront now. And it's because of the situation that I was in terms of work. A very toxic place. Do you know what I mean? Very, very toxic. And yeah. So yeah, like that, it does affect you. Do you know what I mean? So I wasn't like going into it at work. I was doing it outside of work. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's basically like someone's outside wrecking my house, and then I'm inside wrecking my own house. Do you know what I mean? It was like, what am I doing? Do you know what I mean? But I couldn't stop it. So yeah, I'll speak about this when I speak about like how it's been for like since I've been out of jail. And yeah, I'm back, by the way. It's one of the waffle on, you know. But yeah, so it is good to see, man, get out of it, and you could have like a good, reasonable conversation with him. But yeah, it's just sad. Like, just when people, like, especially like getting older now, and just seeing certain people doing certain things, and it's like, Ras, like, you're going out sad, bruv. Like, you were earmarked for big things. You could have gone clear, like, because of like how you were. You so advanced, and now, like, you're so, I can't even think of the word. Like, you're so like far behind now. Only because you live in that life. Anyone can just stop and just start to make moves in the right direction to propel on and to get to where you need to be, or where you should be, or where you could be. But to be old and carrying on with like old-fashioned things, it's like, old-fashioned to we. It's like, rah, what are you doing, bro? What you doing? But yeah, back to the original thing. I mentioned it before about how people are just, I just liked how these guys just said it as well, about like people just like grass now. Like, it's just normal. It's just a normal thing that people do. And I just fully don't understand why or what's going on. But yeah, that's it for this one. Marcus, DKQ Lifestyle Podcast.